In the small town of Shadowville, lost among the dense forests and bleak hills, there was always a special ominous air. It was said that something dark dwelled in the woods, something that thirsted for human blood. The inhabitants tried not to go out after sunset, but as usual, not everyone could hide from the evil. One fall day, as the leaves began to fall, a group of friends, Jake, Emily, Ryan, and Laura, decided to spend the night in an abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. The mansion, known as the Blackwood House, was surrounded by legends of a bloodthirsty vampire that was rumored to live in its shadowy hallways. "Those are just fairy tales for children," Jake laughed as they approached the spooky building. As they entered, a cold wind blew through the broken windows, making Laura shiver. "Don't be afraid," Ryan said as he put his arm around her. "It's just an old building." They decided to have an impromptu picnic in one of the rooms where a thick layer of dust covered the furniture. In the evening, as darkness fell outside the window, they lit candles and began telling ghost stories. Suddenly, the door to the next room slammed shut with a thud. The friends looked at each other, and the laughter quickly died down. "Probably just the wind," Emily said, but her voice shook. Jake stood up and walked over to the door to check. The moment he opened it, the air was filled with the smell of rot and decay. He backed away, his face pale. Suddenly they heard a sound like a low whisper coming from the darkness. "Do you hear that?" Laura asked, her voice full of fear. The friends nodded, but no one dared to stand up. Then, as the whispering intensified, a silhouette emerged from the shadows. It was a tall man with a pale face and long black hair. His eyes glittered like two bright coals. "Who are you?" Ryan asked, trying to put confidence in his voice. "I am one who seeks," the stranger said, his voice low and melodic. "I am a vampire, and I need your blood." The friends backed away in horror, but the vampire quickly approached them, his movements swift and graceful. "Don't be afraid, I mean no harm if you don't mind yourself," he said with a smirk. Panicked, the boys rushed for the exit, but the door they entered through slammed shut with a crash. The vampire followed them, his laughter sounding like a chilling sound. They scattered down the hallways, each looking for a way out, but the mansion seemed like an endless maze. Laura was alone in one of the rooms, her heart pounding as she heard footsteps behind her. She turned around and saw the vampire approaching, his eyes burning with lust. "You won't be able to escape," he uttered as he approached her. At that moment, she grabbed an old doll from the dusty table and threw it at the vampire, but he dodged it easily. "Silly girl," he pronounced as he slowly approached. Meanwhile, Jake, Emily, and Ryan finally found a way out and ran outside. They turned around and saw the vampire standing in the window, his face contorted with evil. "I'll find you," he whispered before disappearing into the shadows. The next morning they returned to the city, but Laura was not with them. It was said that she was never seen again. Every year since then, on Halloween night, strange things begin to happen in Shadowville. There are whispers in the night, and a sweet-smelling odor of blood in the air. Jake, Emily, and Ryan witnessed what happened, and every year they remember the night they encountered the bloodthirsty vampire who still hunts them, seeking revenge for leaving his mansion. Every now and then, as the wind howls, they hear his voice whispering, "I will find you."